Debug Bar. I've been here a while. I still haven't got a beer. What's going on, man?
I got empty water bottles.
That is not beer.
Oh, I got IoT devices.
That's pretty interesting.
And I got answers. If you got answers about code, you got answers about Azure, I got all kinds of answers. So come on over to the Debug Bar if you need help. And
fantastic. I'm here.
I'll serve you beer, though.
I'm here with Leslie Richardson. Hey, Leslie. This Debug Bar thing is amazing. What's the deal?
Yeah, so while it's not a bar that serves you a Bloody Mary or a mule, it is a bar that can help you debug your problem. So if you've been stuck on a bug for months on end, then you can actually bring your code over to this bar and they'll help you out.
So who are the folks behind the bar?
A team of awesome, knowledgeable experts who all work at Microsoft and are familiar with different spaces. So your code could be in JavaScript or .NET, what have you. And you name it, they probably have a service or have some knowledge about how to solve the problem.
And that is so cool. So people can just rock up with their problems, the issues they're having, and get like real-time support with Microsoft engineers?
Exactly. Yeah.
And is that new this year?
Yeah, this is a brand new feature for Ignite. And I gotta say, it's so nice to have, because I've done boot duty before, and getting asked those nitty-gritty questions about code base is just really tough when you're talking to multiple people. It's like, I would go and analyze your code base, but I don't really have the time / the know-how to do so. So it's great to be able to redirect it.
Yeah, it's really good. There's people like actually dedicated to do that stuff. That's really cool. Yeah. And you said about all the mixture of languages as well. That's brilliant. It's such a good idea. And it's really busy here, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. There's a wide stock of knowledge and know-how and ultimately solutions that are making a lot of people happy. I actually heard a story. There was somebody here the other day who'd been stuck on a bug for months and had been emailing a bunch of different people, his team, Microsoft, a lot of people, and supposedly he got the job done just after 10 minutes of hanging out at the bar. Sometimes
that's just the case though, isn't it? Like it's just getting in touch with the right people at the right time, just seeing it. Like that's how you know.
Yes, totally. That's how most problems work out at the end of the day, I feel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. It's great to see, and it's such a good idea. I think it's amazing. Like you're so true. You come to the conferences with these questions, but like actually just being able to sit down, it's really cool. I'm seeing people walk up with problems and then just like getting lined up with engineers. It's such a cool idea. I love it. Yeah, it's really good. Any idea like how many people you're solving, like anything like that?
How many what?
Do you have any problems you're going to solve this week, or like?
Gosh, I don't know. Hopefully a lot. Like I actually have a talk on debugging at the end of the week, and who knows how many implicit problems I could be solving just by even talking about features. So.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, that's amazing. There's all that kind of cool stuff going on, but actually there's loads of other stuff going on as well. And there've been loads of announcements for developers today and around Visual Studio. For you, what are the most exciting ones?
Okay, so I just came out of demoing at Scott Hanselman's keynote, and there are a couple of things that I talked about in particular, such as the VS Terminal. So we've just integrated a terminal into the IDE itself. So
what?
Yeah.
So an actual, a PowerShell terminal, or like, what is it?
Yeah, so a PowerShell terminal, or you can open up a Linux terminal in there. You can use Windows commands or PowerShell-based commands, Unix, that sort of thing. So it's super nice to have, especially because like I usually do all my version control things in the terminal. So having to just stay in one spot instead of going to another window.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. Like exactly what you just said. Like you use that stuff all the time. So yeah. Oh, wow. What else?
I'm also excited about the new IntelliCode updates that we've made lately. Because with IntelliCode, we've now made it possible to train a model onto your own specific code base. So if you're having a unique set of classes and things, it will now provide you suggestions that are unique to your repository. And also, anyone who is working in that code base will have access to that same model.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, favorite new thing they announced?
Well, so I work on the debugger for Visual Studio, so I have a cool new debugging feature that I can show off if you want to.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, can you show me?
Awesome, yeah.
That's good.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. So I've got a breakpoint set in my code here, and one of the things I like to do is inspect my variables as usual. But one of the problems that I face sometimes is when I inspect the variables, it's not the most intuitive thing, or it's not giving me that helpful of information at first glance. If I wanted to inspect, in this case, like a book by its title property, I'd have to expand each one of these out until I found the one I was looking for.
I've totally been there. Like, one of these objects has a problem, and it's kind of,
1 out of 100, so let's go through all of them. So instead, what I can do is go into the locals, autos, or watch windows, as well as data tips, and use a new tool called Pinnable Properties, which is available for 16.4 Preview 3.
Wait, say that again?
Pinnable Properties.
Available?
In 16.4 Preview 3.
Okay, perfect. So folks can go and download that now?
Yep, it just released yesterday, so feel free to try this out, because I think it's really cool. So in this case, I can just go to the property that I want to favorite, and then select the pin icon that appears. And you'll notice that...
Oh, that's cool.
Cool, right? Yeah, so it gets bubbled up to the top of the display, and this also goes for data tips as well. It'll save me a lot of time. Other options that I can use with that is I can hide the property name if I don't want to see that, and I can even filter out all the non-pin properties, so I can just see the ones that I favorited. And of course, I can also do multiple pins as well. So if I wanted to see a bunch of different properties, I could do that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Your day job, it sounds really cool, because you're helping developers to just like work smarter and faster all the time. What's that like for you?
It's really exciting. It's a very unique space where the audience that I am targeting are other developers. So not only can I just ask somebody on my team, hey, what do you think about if we did this to this feature, because they're also developers, but I can ask any other developer, which is really nice. And it's really fun to, when I get asked a lot, hey, is this feature, a new feature available for 2019? And it's like the oldest feature in the world. And then I have to say, no, it's been in Visual Studio for a very long time.
Is that frustrating, or is it?
It can be. It's funny and frustrating, because ultimately what I want to do is improve the discoverability across both old and new features, so that I get asked that question a lot less.
Is there a feature that's been in Visual Studio forever, but like you just wish everybody could know about?
Actually, Debugger Display, which performs that behavior that I just showcased with Pinnable Properties, hence why we made that feature in the first place. So this was an attribute that you'd have to write at the top of your code. But the problem with that is, one, it's not very discoverable. If you don't know that syntax,
I have never seen this before.
Yeah, no one really knows
So that's in there already, right?
Yeah, so this was just something I added already. Yep. And 2, you have to modify your code, which a lot of people don't want to do for debugging things like that, right? And then 3, you have to stop debugging in order to use that tool. So if you didn't set this already at the top of your code while you're in a debugging session, you're going to have to restart, which takes up some time too. But with Pinnable Properties, you don't have to do that. You can stay in the same session. Your pins will persist across sessions, which is nice.
Oh, that is nice, actually. So you can like go away and come back, and it's all stayed. Wow, this is getting cooler and cooler. Yeah, it's really impressive.
It's my new favorite feature.
I think it's going to be my new favorite feature as well. No, it's really good. So to be like a really productive Visual Studio person, like, do you need to know all the keyboard shortcuts? Because I kind of don't.
I personally don't think you do. I'm more of a mouse fanatic, but for those who do like keyboard shortcuts, I mean, F5 is obviously like the universal one for starting up your code, and you can use Control Dot to get the cool refactoring things, which are constantly changing with each new update. And yeah, and especially for accessibility purposes, I think keyboard shortcuts are definitely important, but there's nothing like the mouse for me.
I'm kind of the same. Like, yeah, it's really interesting. Any other kind of super hot tips you can give me?
Just to go and try out 2019. Preview is absolutely free right now. Please experiment and give us your feedback, because that's how we iterate on all the existing features, and that's how we create new features, such as Pinnable Properties, which would not have happened without all the awesome feedback and response that we've gotten from developers about that behavior. So
it's really interesting as well to see developers here at Ignite, right?
Yeah, it's been super fun, and then a lot of them come up to you. It's like, hey, I saw that feature, I saw you doing that talk about this, and it helped me with X feature. So so while the debug bar is here, you don't even need that. Hopefully the tools that we provide you can help fix a lot of your problems at the end of the day as well.
And this whole space that we're in, like this development architecture center, there's all these different things people can do, right?
It's just like a nice haven for all the developers who are attending Ignite specifically to come and check out what's new, or get help on a feature, or just explore. and talk to us.
I noticed we have some stickers here as well, which is cool. We've got the IoT thing so people can come.
Yeah.
There's lots of cool stuff here, isn't there?
Yeah, lots of really cool stuff. We had a ton of t-shirts earlier that disappeared in a blink of an eye, but they're really cool. And of course, we got the cool hexagonal stickers that I attach all over my laptop. And I think we had pins at one point, so you never know. Explore. I heard there were socks somewhere, which I want to get my hands on those.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Leslie, for your time. We're going to throw back to the live stage. I'm going to stay here with Leslie, actually.
Yeah.